Namaskar, I am Dinger Kumbhar, State Convener, Kyoto Kaivarta Dhivara Hatao Kriyanustan Committee and Depressed Classes League District President.
Sir, you have been fighting for last 3 or 4 years against caste certificate holder.
Sir, actually, the definition of scheduled caste is those who have suffered from untouchability, and due to untouchability only, they have been debarred from education facility. Socially, they have been totally debarred, and economically, that person only we enlisted in the scheduled caste, and that is not scheduled caste, rather than it is the presidential order of scheduled caste of a state. And unless and until the parliament passed it and the assent of the president given and notified in the gazette, a caste cannot be called as a scheduled caste. And initially in 1950, a series of castes were taken as the scheduled caste, and at that time, to whom I am fighting for last 3 to 4 years, what you were telling, they were not on the scheduled caste list. And I personally belongs to scheduled caste list at the serial number of 29. Okay. And Kyoto Kaivarta Dhivara, they are a touchable caste. And in 1949, before independence, Constitution of India, they were in the scheduled caste list. But realizing that they are not untouchable or not suffering from untouchability, they have been excluded from the scheduled caste list of India 1950. And after that, as for the Article 366 and Article 341 and 341(2), Constitution has got a provision that any caste who find suffering from untouchability, and due to untouchability only, they have not been enlisted in the scheduled caste list, then their case may be considered, and that consideration has got a procedure is there, standard procedure is there, and that is being permitted or approved by the parliament. And that modalities is that in each state there is a state SC and ST research institute. They are regularly taking the socio-economic and educational aspects of the scheduled caste, and they used to suggest if a community is need to be included or excluded, and finally it is being discussed in the high power SC/ST advisory committee of a state, and if it is granted, that particular committee is chaired by the chief minister itself, and the ex officio secretary is your SC and ST Development Department Minister.
That is the procedure.
Yeah, but that is the procedure. State will suggest it to the government of India. And regarding SC, National Social Justice and Empowerment Department is the nodal agency to introduce the bill before the parliament if a suggestion is needed. But before introducing, the Social Justice Empowerment Department, whenever received a suggestion from the state whether to include a caste or to exclude a caste, they need to take the consent of the Registrar General of India and Census, who are taking census operation. And if that Registrar General of India and Census agreed with the proposal, then that agreed proposal will be sent to the National Commission for Scheduled Caste, in case of scheduled caste. And if the state proposal, Registrar General of India's proposal, and the National Commission for Scheduled Caste proposal will be concurrent, three agency will be agreed with the proposal of inclusion or exclusion, then only it will be introduced in the parliament. And in the parliament, both houses are there, so Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. If it will be passed with a majority, then only it will be sent to the president for his or her assent. And after that, it will be notified in the gazette notification, and that is called amendment. amendment of the 1950, provisions for the scheduled caste. And earlier number of times, likely in 1956, 1976, 2000, 2001, so many times amended, and some of the scheduled caste have been eliminated from the scheduled caste, and some have been included. But the Keuta Kaivarta Dhivara, for whom I am fighting for last 3 to 4 years, they have not been included in 1950, 1956 amendment, 1976 amendment, 2000 amendment. But somehow one of the Kaivarta, he was an homeopathy doctor by name Narayana Behra. He filed a case in the High Court in 1978, where the court given his verdict in 5th November 1979 that Devara was a community in serial number 24, and no more Devar is there in Odisha, and particularly Devar is a community, nomadic community, and they have been migrated from Madhya Pradesh, and that is mostly found in the neighboring districts of Madhya Pradesh, that is Chhattisgarh area mostly, Chota Nagpur, all this area, and they had migrated, and their profession is making tattoos and snake charming, and some of the singing and dancing, and they are a beggar community. And only taking into consideration are they were in Hindi, and this judgment has misinterpreted the Devar pronunciation as Dhivar, and it is called in Odia Dhivar. Devar is in Hindi and Dhivar is in Odia, but Dhivar is a profession, not is a community. Dhivar profession refers to the fishing and boating community, those who are feed up their livelihood from the fishing and boating, but they are not untouchable because they sell the fish or they boat. They do not suffer from any untouchability. So what happened? Somehow that judgment came in 1978 that the Devar is no more exist in Odisha, and Devar may be referred to Dhivar, and Dhivar is a profession, and Dhivar like any community is not there, and Dhivar refers to Keuta and Kaivarta. So Keuta and Kaivarta may be considered as the synonyms, same pronounced caste, and be considered as a scheduled caste. And there it has been deliberately told that, and this is only applied if it will be, introduced in the parliament and get passed and get the assent of the president. But what happened? Some levies interest of the Keuta Kaivarta, they made a association in 1961, that is Kaivarta Mahasabha, and they run before it only to grab the facility of the scheduled caste. Even if one Lokur committee and Lever committee had been to Odisha, that is the Joint Parliament Committee in 1965, they told that there is no such Devar committee, and Devar is not Dhivar. Dhivar is a totally different community. Dhivar is a touchable community. They are staying with the general people, and they cannot be considered. Such notification is there in 1976 by the Home Ministry, the then Home Ministry. And even if in 1981, 1991, so many advisory committees said, and their request, their grievance letter was, considered that they cannot be considered as a scheduled caste because never ever they have suffered from untouchability. And basing upon that particular judgment, the government of India told to government of Odisha to file a SLP before the Supreme Court challenging that particular judgment of Ranganath Mishra. Then, that is OJC 247 of 1975. It was challenged before the Supreme Court, but cunningly this Kaivarta association, taken into confidence of those officials, and they withdraw. And that particular decision in 1980, that case number was 1900 SLP, it was withdrawn. Prayer for withdrawn as dismissed. That means it was not been, heard, it was not been discussed in the Supreme Court, rather than withdrawn by the Supreme Court. And against that, in 23 March 2023, May 1981, an instruction was issued from the Government of India that Keuta Kaivarta may be considered as the scheduled caste, provided they should be, introduced in the parliament for pass as a bill and get the assent of the president. But no such action was, taken by the government of Odisha. And simultaneously, basing upon that letter, another letter in 20th 7, 1981, a letter issued to the all collectors that Kyoto Koibarta may be issued caste certificate provided they should be enacted by the Parliament of India. But without Parliament, pass, they started taking. And it is wonder to see the population of Kyoto Kaivarta, so called, they call them as they beg them as the Devar. Devar communism no more exist, but they beg them as the Devar, and the population was 3,000 like in 1961. It came to 2,000 or something like in 81 census. And all of a sudden, when 81 letter, that particular letter, at least 2.5 lakhs people, they just represented them as the Devar, whereas Devar was not there. And after that, in 2001 census report, it was seen that they are 6 lakhs and 50,000. That means biologically it is not possible. 3,000 people cannot give rise to 2.5 lakhs, and 2.5 lakhs in 10 years cannot become 6.5 lakhs. Just to grab the facility of the scheduled caste, they entered as the Deva. So what happened in 1996? Nityanand Sharma versus State of Bihar, a 7 benches judges given an verdict in the Supreme Court that no synonymous, no comma, full stops, no subclass can be enlisted as the scheduled caste unless and until it is granted by the parliament or the assent of the president. No shortcut way. Only no code has got the authority to direct. That means the Narana Behra case of the 78 was, overruled. After that, in 1998, another judgment came from the High Court, Honorable High Court Odisha, in Krupa Sindhu Sahu versus Hindustan Aeronautic Limited, that synonymous caste cannot be considered as a caste category. Only untouchability, only the suffering people. That means if a untouchable people touch a person and if he get impure, then only he will be considered as the scheduled caste. And accordingly, in 2000, Government of Odisha issued letter to all collectors that the another clans of Kyoto Koibarta, that is Radi, Niari, Ghani, Girgira, no more caste certificate should be issued in their name and withdraw. Those who have already got the certificate, they may remain in their service, but no more caste certificate be issued. After that, when the Radi, Niari, Ghani, Girgira are being withdrawn, caste certificate, then Kyoto Koibarta afraid of it. 6.5 lakhs people were there enjoying the caste certificate. They immediately, in the leadership of Jogendra Behra, the then president of the Kyoto Sabha, they came, and at that time Ramnath Kovind was there. Ranganath Mishra was that judge who had given that verdict in 78. He was at that time as the Rajya Sabha member. They took the advantage of Rajya Sabha member Ranganath Mishra and entertained at least 10 to 15 MPs. Even if they have written it there vividly in their Kyoto Varta, that they have entertained a huge numbers of MP to get the support of inclusion. And somehow, instead of following those modalities, that means the consent of the Registrar General of India, the consent of the National Commission for SC, the consent of the state, directly they introduced the judgment of 1978, 23 years back judgment. That means a judgment of a court, as usual, applied within 1 year or 2 years. After that, it is invalid. But the judgment of the 1978 was introduced in 31st August 2001, after 23 years. That particular order and another order of 1971, 30 years back judgment was introduced, whereas number of judgments were there, like your Maharashtra versus Milin, Latika Kumari case, Madhuri Patil case, Nityananda case, your Krupa Sindhu case. Bypassing all these cases, they somehow manage the social justice and empowerment department by this Koibarta Mahasabha. to introduce a bill in 31/8/2001 before the parliament, and they get assented in 25th May. And finally, the signature of the president was got in and notified in 18/12/2002, 18/12/2002 को. तो इसमें क्या है कि my point of saying is that supposed to be they have been anyway, whether they took the wrong way, illegally introduced, or that is something different, but they have been introduced in the parliament in 31/8/2001 and they have been considered as the scheduled caste in 18/12/2002. That how can the caste certificate in the name of Dr. Mukesh Mahaling, like other person, were issued prior to 1981?
सर, ये मिस्टर मुकेश महालिंग जो कैबिनेट मिनिस्टर है, उनको आप पर्सनली कुछ अटैक करते हैं इसी कास्ट सर्टिफिकेट को लेकर, क्या बोलना चाहते हैं?
आप तो चेस खेलना भी आपको थोड़ा बहुत तो मालूम होगा कि चेस में क्या होता है, राजा होके अटैक करोगे तो बाकी होगा। 6 लाख के अभी
आप किसी को भी इसी कास्ट सर्टिफिकेट में नहीं लाए। डॉक्टर मुकेश महालिंग जो उड़ीसा के हेल्थ मिनिस्टर कैबिनेट मिनिस्टर में है, उसको डॉक्टर मुकेश महालिंग को ही लेके आप प्रेस मीट कर देते हैं, प्रेस मीट लेके ये करते हैं, तो क्या आपका कोई पर्सनल इशू है क्या?
नहीं, पर्सनल इशू नहीं। एज सच ही इज अ वेरी गुड फ्रेंड ऑफ माइन। द थिंग इज दैट he is now only person in the cabinet ministry, but our cases is against 8 person, like your Jogendra Behra, earlier minister, your present MP Vibhu Tarai, and your Mahesh Sahu, ex MLA and ye chairman of the SC cell BJD, then Kulamani Samal, Vibhu Tarai, Kishore Tarai, at least 8 person initially we have got cases against 8 persons. Okay, not exactly, and I am a sole, informant against Dr. Mukesh Mahaling. And so far, like your chess where I am telling, the once king is attacked and get defeated, then whole thing is over. So now the cabinet minister or the highest power, enjoyed by any Keuta Koivarto Dhivara person, that is Dr. Mukesh Mahaling. And it is not exactly, rather than I am totally against all these, illegally entrants, like your at least 12 to 15 lakhs people are there.
Sir, this case is already in RDC.
Yeah.
What about telling you that matter?
See, I was very much, eager and very much confident that RDC will give a favorable, not favorable, a judicious decision. It was heard on the 18th March 2025. And to your surprise, my allegation was in and around 15th of September of 2024, and it was heard very soon in 18th March 2025. But one allegation made in 4/4/2018, it was kept in cold storage. And that allegation was made by the Bhajwan Behra ex-union minister. You see, and our people are very much responsible, and Bhajwan Behra particularly is very much responsible. When he was the scheduled caste minister, this particular proposal has been given. Bhakta Das was there in the MP minister. Your Pradipta Nayak was in the opposition leader. They had never ever raised this voice against, and now they are enjoying taking into consideration as the Dalit leader. And really, if I say, the real culprit is the Bhakta Das, Pradipta Nayak, Bhajwan Behra, these scheduled caste, leaders who are enjoying the scheduled caste, reservation facility, and they are representing our people like MLA, MPs, ministers, and they are the most billions in this case. Had they checked, these people might have not taken caste certificate in 1981. The case withdrawn in 1980 must not have withdrawn. After Nityanand Sharma in 1996, they might have been, excluded. In 1998, at the time of your Krupa Sindhu case, they might have excluded. At the time of 2000, when Radi Niyari Ghani Girgara excluded, at that time they might have, even if when the bill was introduced, at that time Padmanabh Behra from the SC community was there. he remained, I mean, absent at that particular time. Your Jagannath Malik, another MP was there. Arjun Sethi was there. That means these people, our leaders, has been gained over time and again and entertained these people. And now the situation has come. Now we people are 17.1% against our Odisha's, I mean, population. But we are getting reservation facility of just 8%. And 8.25%, that is, we are getting, we are supposed to get 16.25, I mean, percent reservation. But Kyoto Kaivarta being 10 to 15 lakhs, they are taking 8.25% reservation facility, whereas we people are 85 lakhs people are satisfied with the 8% reservation. That means these people have taken the benefit because beneficiary will ask for the benefit. But what is the locus standi of the issuing authority and all these people who are
फॉल्ट किसका है? मतलब गवर्नमेंट तो इश्यू कर रहा है सर्टिफिकेट, तो इश्यू कौन सा रहा? मतलब फॉल्ट कहाँ पे रह गया है?
फॉल्ट यहीं पे रहा कि गवर्नमेंट ने उन लोगों को एंटरटेन किया और हमारे लोग ने उनको खुला छूट दिया। मैं तो बोलूंगा गवर्नमेंट भी दायी नहीं है, हमारे लीडर से दायी है। जो लोग इससे पहले जो मिनिस्टर बने हैं, ये सारे लोग दायी है।
सर अभी आप क्या करना चाहते हैं? आगे क्या बढ़ेंगे, क्या करेंगे इसी केस में?
ऐसे तो इसी में हाई कोर्ट और सुप्रीम कोर्ट को जाना है। अभी जो 20 तारीख को बीजेपी कर रहा है, 1 साल का वो खुशियां मना रहे हैं। हम बोल रहे हैं भाई खुशियां मना रहे हो, कम से कम एक जो बंदा मिनिस्टर बनने से पहले ऐसा किया था। आप एक बात सोचिए, 20 साल पहले कोई रेप किया होगा, 20 साल के बाद पकड़ा होगा तो उसको छोड़ दोगे क्योंकि 20 साल पहले का ये कसूर था। अगर डॉक्टर मुकेश महालिंग ने फेक का सर्टिफिकेट नहीं लिया होता, इलीगल सर्टिफिकेट नहीं लिया होता, वो एजुकेशन नहीं पाए होते, वो नौकरी नहीं किए होते, वो डॉक्टरेट डिग्री नहीं पाए होते, आज एमएलए नहीं बनते और मिनिस्टर नहीं बनते। और उनके जैसा लाखों लोगों अब हैं। अब जो हमारे एससी लोगों हैदराबाद जाए, रायपुर जाके रिक्शा चला रहे हैं, कहीं होटल में काम कर रहे हैं, रोजाना हम ये ब्रिक्स फैक्ट्री को जाते हैं और हम हर महीने में 1-2 डेड बॉडी आता है, वो सब देख रहे हैं। किस लिए? इन्हीं लोगों के लिए। ये अगर नहीं होते तो वो 8 लाख नौकरी हमारे लोगों को मिलता।
और अभी आप कोर्ट में तो हैं अभी,
हाँ,
तो फिर अभी क्या लास्ट आपका क्या है?
देखिए मैं तो बोलूंगा कि कोर्ट तो जाएंगे ही, कोर्ट विचार करेगा, लेकिन एक बात क्या है कि कोर्ट का पावर नहीं है कि इन लोगों को निकालेंगे। हाँ, प्रोसीजर जो गलत किए हैं उसको हम कर सकते हैं, वी आर टेकिंग दैट पर्टिकुलर प्रोसेस। बट हमारे जो लीडर्स हैं, अभी फिलहाल देखिए बीजेडी ने प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस कर लिया। मैं जब भुवनेश्वर में प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस किया उसको एडवांटेज लेने के लिए, मुकेश महालिंग को ये करने के लिए, लेकिन उसके बाद चुप पड़ गया क्योंकि उनका भी है, उसका क्या है, ये गणेश्वर बेहरा है, उनका एमएलए है। अच्छा, आपका पीसीसी ऑफिस में कांग्रेस भवन में प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस करवाने के लिए हमको प्लेटफॉर्म दिए, लेकिन भक्तदास चुप है। ये इशू नहीं है इनके। भक्तदास के लिए मैं बहुत मानता हूं उनको। भक्तदास के लिए ये लेडीज का मुद्दा बहुत है, छोटा बच्चे लोगों जो किडनैप हो गए वो मुद्दा उनके लिए बहुत बड़ा मुद्दा है, और चासी के लिए है, और ये पुलवामा के लिए है, क्या क्या के लिए है, सारे पहलगांव के लिए, सारे लिए मुद्दे हैं, किंतु एससी के लिए मुद्दा नहीं है। जबकि वो एससी का लीडर बोल के ये मल्लिकार्जुन खड़गे उनको बोले हैं, जिस जहां से वो उनका आइडेंटिटी है, दलित का लीडर बोलते हैं, लेकिन दलित के लिए वो नहीं है। और मैं बोलूंगा कि सारे दलित लीडर्स को मैं चैलेंज करता हूं कि पहले तुम दलित से, अभी भी तो एमएलए कुछ है ना, आपका भीर महाराजपुर एमएलए है, आपका ओताबिरा एमएलए है, आपका रेंगाली एमएलए है, और बीरमित्रपुर, सारे एमएलए हैं हमारे पश्चिम उड़ीसा का। मैं बोल रहा हूं ये लोगों को साफ सूंघा गया है। तुम पार्टी का हो गए, बल्कि जिस थाली से तुम खा रहे हो उसको तुम ये करोगे, चित करोगे। एससी का सीट में जाके तुम पार्टी का ही तरफदारी करोगे। मुकेश महालिंग चोरी करे, डकैत करे, जो भी करे, फर्जरी, ये क्या है? फर्जरी केस है और प्रोविजन इज देयर, इट इज ए कॉग्निजेबल ऑफेंस, 10 इयर्स तक जेल है भाई। और आरडीसी जो उम्मीद लगा के बैठे थे कि वो इनको ये करेगा, प्रोक्लामेशन करेगा, घोषणा करेगा, जेन्युइननेस, वो सर्टिफिकेट जो लिए थे 1988 में एक सर्टिफिकेट लिए थे, 1997 में लिए थे। मैं बोल रहा हूं कि मैं 2001 का पहले मैं बोल रहा हूँ, 2002 के बारे में मैं बात का नहीं बोल रहा हूँ, वही मुद्दा मैं बोल रहा हूँ। लेकिन वो बोले कि मेरा लिमिटेशन पावर है, मैं इसको दे नहीं सकता। अरे भाई
डीसी भी दे नहीं सकते,
दे नहीं सकते बोले तुम कोई दोरा बोल के जो डीएसपी था उसको दे सकते हो, कोई मास्टर होगा उसको ये कर सकते हो, कोई आम आदमी का कर सकते, कैबिनेट के लिए नहीं है। लॉ क्या है भाई, भारत का संविधान का लॉज जो है यूनिफॉर्मिटी ऑफ लॉ एंड इट इज इक्वल बिफोर लॉ, इक्वल प्रोटेक्शन ऑफ लॉ। जब कैबिनेट मिनिस्टर का बात आ जाता है, आरडीसी भी अपने हाथ पैर बांध के रह जाते हैं। ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए। सबका साथ सबका विश्वास का मतलब ही क्या रहा?
सर आप इतने दिन तक अभी लास्ट 3 और 4 इयर्स तक ये सर्टिफिकेट को लेके, फेक सर्टिफिकेट को लेके, अभी आपका लास्ट कंक्लूजन क्या रहेगा?
लास्ट कंक्लूजन रहेगा, एक तो लड़ाई होगा, लड़ाई तो केवट कैवर्त से कम होगा। हमारे जो लीडर्स हैं उन लोगों को है, रास्ते में उन लोगों को अपना प्रोटेस्ट करेंगे, उन लोगों को घुसने नहीं देंगे,
अपने हक के लिए सब कुछ करेंगे,
सब कुछ करेंगे। हम सुप्रीम कोर्ट जाएंगे, हाई कोर्ट जाएंगे, और बाय द वे विल प्रोटेस्ट अगेंस्ट आवर लीडर्स हु आर माने पुटिंग मम देयर माउथ। हमारे लोग ही गद्दार है।
देखिए हम लोग कभी बात कर रहे थे डिंगर कुमार से, जो अभी फेक सर्टिफिकेट को लेके अभी कोर्ट में है, और आरडीसी भी गए थे और इसमें लगे रहे हैं। और ये जब तक क्लियर नहीं होगा, क्लियर नोटिफिकेशन नहीं आएगा, क्लियर रिजल्ट नहीं आएगा, तब तक ये उसी केस में लगे रहेंगे।